It's your girl Princess, and welcome to another episode of CEO Confessions, where we have the no fluff conversation on what it takes to really become an entrepreneur. And I am joined by
Michelle,
Nicki,
the one and only Kaillez.
All right. So guys, we are about to talk about marketing. So this is about to get really fun and interesting. What exactly is a marketing strategy?
No, the only reason why I'm laughing is because marketing is my expertise, and marketing is very important. One of the most important things in your business. Now, marketing is just not social media. So for those listening, it's not just all about social media, but a marketing strategy is a plan that you put together in a way that you are going to promote your business. And if you do not have a marketing strategy, it's very easy to use something like ChatGPT to ask what could be a marketing strategy for your business. So now we don't even have the excuse anymore to say, oh, I need a marketing strategy, or to even hire someone in the beginning. You could definitely start with ChatGPT and ask, what is a marketing strategy? But usually that's going to include everything that you're going to do to promote your business, what platforms you're going to use, how you're going to leverage those platforms and such. I won't get into like the real technical specifics, but basically that's a general
Gives
overview.
you a good foundation starter.
So at one point in my life, I thought that I spent unnecessary money on a degree. So my undergrad is actually in advertising and integrated marketing communications. I've never used that degree in my life until I started my business. And so I've realized, like, with the marketing aspect, you said it's not social media. It's your advertising, it's your vision, it's your mission, it's your goals. And so your marketing strategy is a part of your overall just business plan. And I think that understanding the power of marketing, I think is really important. Understanding the target audience of people that you want to reach. Also understanding and recognizing a part of your marketing strategy is that, you know, sometimes you may need to hire, you know, someone to do the marketing if you don't understand the marketing, because I think that there's so many different moving parts. And just like a business plan, it's like a living, breathing document. And so your marketing strategy may have to change because you may not be seeing the results that you want, you know, from the strategy that you've created. So I think that, really understanding the power of marketing and marketing being a tool, right? This is another tool that can be used. It can really leverage people's brands, and it can really cause people to kind of catapult just by having like a really strong, solid marketing strategy.
Yes. I always believe that the strongest form of marketing is word of mouth. So if your product or brand or whatever it is that you're trying to market is solid, with the right people, that's the best form of marketing. Because if you have something that's good, people are going to talk, and then they're going to talk, and those people are going to talk, and it's going to spread like wildfire. Maybe not overnight sensation, but the buzz is getting around because you have a good product or a good brand.
It's really good. What is a way a person can start mapping out a marketing strategy, like one thing that they could start doing today?
This is your lane, girl.
Oh. It's like, come on now.
I definitely think you start with your goals.
Okay.
Because a lot of people come to me with this question, and it may seem very simple, but it's a really complex question. How often should I post? Well, I don't know, because I don't know what your goal is. I don't know what you're trying to do. It could be you're trying to get conversions. It could be you want people to sign up for your website. It could be you're trying to promote an event. You have to start with the goal in mind and work backwards. So I think starting with your goals and saying, okay, well, I have this website and I want people to sign up for an event, for example. How am I going to do that? Well, I could post on social media 4 or 5 times. I could send 3 emails, and I could go live. Just really having a plan on how you plan to reach that goal, because the idea of how many times should I post is really not the right question to ask. It's really what is my goal? What should you be posting, right? What you want the outcome to be?
That's a good point. I think one really good thing that should be done is like determining like how you want to show up in front of your audience and your people. What is it that you want them to, like, what is it that you want to market? Right. What is it that you want your business to market? And I think really determining like how you want to actually show up to your audience. You know, do you want to come off as being bold or strong, or do you want to come off as being like a subject matter expert? I think that's probably a good area to be able to figure out even before you start posting is like, what is your presence? Like, what type of social media presence do you want to have? What do you want to be known for? When people see your colors or when people see your brand, what type of feeling? Like, what do you want them to feel? Like, how are you going to be able to make that connection? And I think starting at those particular basics before you actually decide to put anything out there, I think is a clear place to be able to start.
I'm old school, y'all. I'm a pen and paper kind of person. I think once I can see it, I can break it down into smaller pieces. So strategizing wise, I'll start with the bigger picture and then I'll do branches from there and break it down. And that allows me to see where I may have missed something or where I can go back, maybe make up time for this here, or seeing it on pen and paper on paper through pen. It gives me a better vision to break it down that way.
Yeah. And like, I'm sorry. And I was going to say, like, real advertising and marketing agencies, like, they do focus groups.
Yeah.
And so get some of the very trusted people in your circle and be able to say, okay, put your plan together behind the scenes and say, okay, I want to show y'all some things. I want some very real feedback.
Honest feedback.
Yeah. Like, do you think this is good? Is this not good? Do I need to keep it? Do I need to trash it? But getting a focus group and getting multiple perceptions and multiple opinions, I think would be helpful as well.
And in those focus groups, they typically do have like a board that they'll put all these ideas on and filter out from there what's good, what stays, what goes. So yeah.
It's really good. How does marketing and sales work together? Do you feel that they go hand in hand?
Oh, this is a good question because people think that marketing is sales, but it's two totally different things. They work well together. When I first started, I was just doing social media management for a lot of businesses, and they were relying on us to get them sales. Marketing is not guaranteed, so it's not something that I can say to you that I'm going to guarantee that I can get you 10 million followers so that you can make $10 million and you're going to have this awesome launch. It just doesn't work like that. Right. I think that they complement each other well, and that marketing can get your product or service in front of the right people, but you have to be that person to sell it to them at the end of the day. So marketing is what's going to get it in front of people. But if you have the right product, if you have the right service, if you have the right authentic message, it will sell. But again, you still have to sell it. You can market it. You can post as many times as you want to. You can yell to your grandma, yell to social media. But if you don't actually sell it, then no one's going to buy it.
Sure. Yeah. And marketing is the seed. The sales are the results. That's the harvest.
True. That's true.
And so if you don't market, you're not going to sell. Think about all of these different celebrities and marketing. When I think about marketing as well, like thinking about like PR. PR is a part of marketing. And so you think about all of these celebrities who do very different things in order to get in front of their audiences.
Exactly.
I don't want to say said names, but if you look at
I feel like I can feel where you
I think we all have that idea.
But if you think about like right now in the world, you have this very famous singer who is attending football games, and it is literally all like people who never cared about football a day in their life are now
tuned into that game,
into the game. And they talk about how the sales of the album, the sales of the jerseys, the sales of the whatever is literally through the roof. Why? Because they use themselves as a marketing tool to reach their audience. And so that's why marketing is the seed and the sales are the harvest.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that about like this very popular couple who's constantly on everybody's social media with their foolishness.
Okay.
And that's a PR stunt. It's like people don't realize that is a PR stunt. Like they're just driving attention to themselves for a reason. So that they can, boost their sales, or maybe this person's about to go on tour and now they have all this, attention on them for this. But even though I don't think the attention is good attention, but
right, and
it's a PR stunt.
And that's why brands use celebrities. They use very well-known people because they want to appeal to a certain type of target audience, right? And so they're like, well, if I can get this person to wear my makeup, or if I can get this particular person to, drive this car, then the people who they influence and that follow them are going to go do exactly the same thing that they want to do. That's the power of influence. Yes. Because power is a very real thing, and they understand the power that these people possess. And so that's why they use them, and it works.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Sometimes.
Right. Listen, all publicity ain't good publicity, right?
That's true. That couple, that ain't good publicity.
Lord. You had to tell me about that later.
Okay.
Like, who are you referring to? Who are these people? How does marketing influence consumer behavior?
Oh, this is so juicy because
this should just be a you.
No, this is an everybody conversation. Consumer psychology is so important, and the whole thing of marketing is emotion. So once you tug on the heartstrings of people, you're going to have them. I don't know if you all watch the Super Bowl. Those commercials are very emotional type of commercials where it's tugging on the heartstrings of who their clients and customers are. I think that a really great strategy on how you do that can really set you very, very far apart. But marketing is all about playing on people's emotions.
Appealing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's about the appeal. And I think about commercials, like think about the Feed the Hungry commercials.
Yeah.
You know how they play the music, the real sad music in the background. And you see the kid with the flies around. I'm like, I'm not making fun of these commercials, but there is a reason why they use that. Because why? They want you to feel sorry for them. Yes. They want you to be up. They want you to give. They want your money. They want you to be moved by emotion.
Exactly.
And by the end of it, you be like, I want to empty out my whole wallet. I want to go.
It's just 17 cents a month, right?
That's it. Because I have now made a connection, and they have now. And so when you make a connection, you're making an emotional investment.
That's true.
And so now I'm emotionally invested into this brand. And so most people, and then when they have that emotional connection, now you've built loyalty. And that's ideally what you really want from a marketing strategy or branding plan, is that you want to gain loyalty. You want to have consistent followers, consistent investors. So I think it's really all about that emotion piece.
Yeah, that's true. Consumer psychology, you hit it on the nail. So I'm like, why are we here? This is a you show.
Where's my pen and paper?
It's also about too, like the colors you use in your brand.
Yes.
All of that matters. Like if you use red, it's supposed to show that you're vibrant and fiery.
Yes.
If you use blue,
Everything.
it's trustworthy.
Yes.
If you use black, like there's so many different emotional and psychological things that you can do. And there's a book, I think it's called The Psychology or something. It's marketing psychology, but if you really want to go deep and really learn more, it's just so many things that you can do just to win over the hearts of your consumers or pull on their emotions in different ways.
I always say that when I see certain colors or brands, I'm like, what story are you trying to tell? What are you trying to get out of us right now? So
every single facet of what they do, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, from their taglines.
Yep, colors,
their vision, their mission.
Music,
all of that.
everything.
All of it is intentional.
Definitely.
That's good. I always say that what sets you apart online is the way you market your product. Like we all in here can have the same product trying to sell this bottle of lip gloss, but we're all going to market it different, tell the story different. When marketing on social media, what is something brands should be doing? Like automatic.
I feel that, well, now they're all into like your algorithms and stuff like that. But, the hashtags used to be a thing. You kind of have to find what the current trend is in order to stay with the times, I guess, because hashtags were a big thing at one point. Then it was, you got to find the certain music, what algorithm is going now. You kind of keep up with it to find how you can finagle your niche to target that, audience, market yourself.
I think for me, it's about like personal connection. Like I want to personally connect with the brand. Like I think about like, how has it impacted my life? How has it impacted my family's life? So like I'm a loyal person when it comes to certain things. When it comes to like soaps and lotions, like I use the same thing. Yeah. And it's like, why? And it's a lot of it is because of trust. I have a trust factor with these individual people. So I think that for people to kind of show up, in that regard, I think that there needs to be this, it's a connection. Why should people support your business? Why should they buy your sweatshirt? Why should they buy your journal? And I think that when people understand and they make that connection on how it impacted you first, because I think that's a big thing. Like, I believe that you have to practice what you preach. And so if you don't believe in what you're selling, it can come off as like, oh, they just doing something just to be doing something. But when you hear people's personal stories, like, I got fired from my job and, you know, I wanted to be there for my child. It's like, wow, like, you know what? That's me. But even if it's not me, I still can relate to this individual person. So I now feel like I have this personal connection to you. And so everything that you do from your marketing and your branding, I'm going to believe in that and I'm going to trust into that because of your story.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that story is the most important things that brands should be doing, is figuring out, what is your brand story? What do you want people to know about you? What do you want people to relate to your brand about? Especially for founders, I think we are in a very founder focused society right now, where people, like you said, want to know, I want to know, what was your story on why you made this soap and why it's so important to me because I love it. Like, I want to know these things. And so I think as we just continue to move forward in marketing and social media in this digital age, that a lot of founders may have to come from behind the curtain. A lot of people don't want to be the face of their brand, but I'm here to tell you that that's probably the best thing in today, because you're not a big name brand. Like, we can go to these big places that got, you know, like the red little circle and stuff like that. We know those people, right? We don't have to be convinced to go there. But for something like a soap or a new hair care product, we gotta be convinced, okay, it's 17 other hair care products now. What makes yours different? Why is your story different? So I do believe that brands should start telling the story. And if there's a founder behind the brand or founders, that their story should be like front and center, because that's really what's gonna emotionally tug on people's hearts and make them want to buy.
Yeah, if you're selling like a product or something like that, again, going back to, you know, word of mouth marketing, those client reviews will be your key. Like, if you are selling, I don't know, a skincare product and you have someone who can prove this is what this product did for me, and they give that, you know, client review for you, well, okay, well, if it did this for her, then it might do this for me. Like, that's gonna give them, again, that level of trust in you or your product. And if it's not a product, if you are your brand, someone reviewing how your services went or how you performed or did whatever, it depends on what your business is, obviously, but those client reviews will be a great tool as well.
Yeah. And I think staying true to yourself and why you started that. Sometimes I think people really veer off because they veer off because it's like, well, this isn't appealing to the people that I thought it was going to appeal to. So they veer off from their initial vision and mission. But I really believe that when you stay true to yourself, that you will attract the people that you want to attract. Like, I think about like my own personal values as an individual person, which is why I flock to certain types of companies or brands when I hear like their behind the scenes story. So there's a particular lotion that I use, and it's not a very well known company, very small company. But one thing that they do is for every lotion or soap or whatever that you buy, they actually they donate a soap to a mission.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Or I think about a restaurant that I love is that at the end of the day, they take all of their food and they take it to a shelter. Those types of things to me are really important. So I want to give my money to those people that I know that my money is going to go somewhere else outside of cause. So that's something that's really important to me.
Yeah,
that's good. What will you all never compromise with in your business?
Integrity.
Oh, girl, you took my word.
I will never, and it's so funny you said this, because I had a situation this year where there was someone who wanted to be on my podcast. We did the interview, but after the interview, my team found out something about this person. And so we had to make a decision to not air the episode. But I wholeheartedly believe in everything I do, and I'm not willing to sacrifice anything that can potentially mess up what people may think about my brand because of another person. So I'm all about integrity. If I don't believe in it, it's not going on my podcast and my business. If I don't believe in like what the person is doing, we not working together. So it's really about, it's all about integrity for me.
Yeah.
That's good.
I will not compromise my belief in God. there have been plenty of times that there was a contract that I was getting with the government, and they do very thorough background checks and all of those different things. And so on my website, because I used to do like business coaching one-on-one, and I put reviews on my website, and this particular client that I had, she talked about how every time before we started, I prayed. This wasn't a company that I worked with, but it was a personal person. But this government agency saw that, and one of the things, and they told me this, they were like, that was one of the things that was going to keep them from actually accepting my contract, is because they believed that I prayed before my training sessions. I said, first of all, I don't pray out loud before the training sessions. I do pray internally, but that is one thing that I refuse to compromise about. Right. Like, you get a lot of, I think, artists and a lot of people who get on certain platforms, and they will tell them, you cannot say God, don't say Jesus, don't mention those scriptures, don't mention the Bible. If I have to compromise my belief and my faith, that is not the platform for me. Yeah. So when it comes to my business and certain things that I decide to do, if I want to put a scripture on something, and if you don't like that, then we are not going to work together. So my faith and my belief in God I'm not compromising that.
I love both of those. Yeah, those are both two things that I feel that I will not compromise on. But since I can't say those,
you can say those. Just make it your own.
Those are mine as well. However, I'm also not willing to compromise on who I am as a person. If it is something that doesn't feel right, and if it's God giving me that feeling, or it jeopardizes my brand, I'm not gonna do it. Like, it has to feel right for me. Like, I have to fit into the equation comfortably. Yeah.
That's good. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for another episode of CEO Confessions. I hope you had some great takeaways and some things that you can start implementing in your business and in your daily life. We'll see you on the next episode. Have a good one.